Hi, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty good myself. Today, I want to talk about consolidation, bunching your tasks together so you can be more effective and more efficient. Um, by effective, I mean more successful, right? You got closer to achieving the desired outcome. And by efficient, I mean you achieve that desired outcome with less of your resources, less of your time, and less of your energy, and it caused you less stress overall. Um, so, what I mean by consolidating your tasks is let me just start with an example. Right now, I'm in the process of saving up money for college so I don't have to work a job while I'm attending college. And part of what I'm doing to make that money is selling a bunch of my items that I don't need anymore on eBay. Um, some of them were some Pokemon cards, some PSA graded Pokemon cards, and I had 3 different batches that I was going to ship out. uh, one of 10 different cards, my cheap ones. I just bunched those all together. That's, I guess, another form of consolidation, but that's not the example I want to go in. But and then 2 more expensive cards, and all 3 of those were going to different areas, right? So instead of just, well, so what I ended up doing was I felt like I was in a little bit of a rush. I already worked today, and then I realized that I had to ship these items out, and I had some stress, right? So, and everybody knows when you have stress, you're obviously, and when you feel rush, you're gonna be. It's likely that you're going from one thing to the next to the next. You're like, oh yeah, I have to do this. Oh yeah, I have to do this. Oh yeah, I have to do this, and you're kind of all over the place, right? I was a little bit this way, not too bad, but I was a little bit this way, and I had to use some willpower, use some discipline to kind of control that. I started packaging one of my Pokemon cards in, and then I was thinking, oh, and now I need to check on this thing on my PC, and then I got up, and then in my mind, the word consolidate popped into my head. And I sat back down, grabbed the other Pokemon card, and then packed it into the other one. And then again, there was something else I wanted to do. I sat myself back down because the word consolidation popped into my head, and I did all 3 in a row, right? It's not that packaging Pokemon cards is something super complicated, but so there could be a better example than this to get the point across. But regardless, because I did all 3 of those things in a row and got it out of the way in one sitting, I was more effective and more efficient. If I were to have gotten up and gone and done that other thing, right, I would come back and think, okay, where was I? And it would take me a minute to recall what I was doing, how to do it, because I'm new to this eBay thing. I'm not sure what the etiquette is on mailing PSA graded Pokemon cards, because people will get pissed if you do it wrong. But essentially, it would take me out of the flow of it, right? And there's no reason to take yourself out of the flow of something. If you can stay in a flow and there is more work to be done, you should just do it then. You shouldn't say, well, there's this other thing I got to do, and I think it's a little bit more important than this, so I'm going to stop this for a little bit, go finish that, and then I'll come back. It's just not as effective or efficient as you could be. If you build momentum, why would you break it, right? You built momentum in that direction. Your mind is already in the zone for that specific thing, right? Your mind already figured out. It already recalled the information that you need in order to do the task effectively. You go do something else, you come back, you have to recall it again. But if you just stay doing that thing. You don't have to recall it more than once. It just stays in your head. You know how to do it. You know how to do it. You're doing it. Oh, look at that. 5 minutes shorter than if I went to go do that other thing and came back, because you're not going to be as efficient. You're not going to be as fast when you come back. Part of understanding the value of this is I feel as if it's necessary to go in depth about how being effective and efficient actually saves you. Well, of course it saves you time, but it also prevents stress from building up. Time, energy, and money too are essentially all the same currency, right? With your time, you can use that to make money. With your energy, you can use that to make money. With your energy, if you put your energy into the right area, you can make some time, right? You can make some time for yourself. Just doing a little bit of extra work in one area in order to save time down the road, right? A lot of preparation, I guess, is a good way to explain that, a good word to use as an example for that. But all of these are interchangeable, right? Money, you can buy time. You can, that sounds weird. How do I explain that better? Buy time. If I had $1,000 more than I do right now, I would have more time to, apply to scholarships, because that's what I want to be doing with my time. If I had $1,000 more, I could quit my job a little bit earlier and put an extra 2 weeks or so into applying for scholarships before my college term starts, right? So all of these things are interchangeable. And if you're doing things as effectively and efficiently as possible by consolidating and not breaking your momentum for no reason, and not letting yourself have that monkey mind that jumps from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, all over the place. If you just stay still, sit there, finish your task, then go to the next task. Sit there, finish that task. And it doesn't even have to be one task, but another good way to explain this is you can also group together tasks that are similar, right? So they don't have to be the exact same task, but if they involve the same type of skill or ideas or understanding, then doing those things in a row from here to here to here, of course you're still going to need to recall information as you start each of those new tasks, but it'll be less, because this thing builds you in the direction of that thing. The information that you need to do this first task is somewhat, it might not be all the information you need for the second task, but it is a decent amount, right? If they're similar, you'll use a decent amount of the same information and muscle memory and all these other different fancy words that I can't think of right now. But so essentially, just understand how important momentum is and how pointless it is to break momentum, because you don't have the patience or the peace of mind to sit for a long period of time. I was diagnosed with ADHD at one point. I certainly don't have that anymore. I definitely did a great job curing it. I think ADHD is, it just means you're not healthy. It means that you're doing something wrong. Maybe this is just my opinion, right? But I think essentially every mental disorder is curable if you do the right things, and it is your responsibility and in your control. But this is besides the point. I was diagnosed with ADHD at one point, so I do understand how difficult it is to tame that monkey mind that wants to bounce from one thing to the next to the next. Whether it's one idea to the next when you're talking or when you're thinking, or excuse me, one task to the next, to the next, to the next, doing them in an ineffective and inefficient order. It is hard. It is difficult to control that, and you really just have to continue to put conscious effort into it. If you, yeah, like I said, what worked for me is just having that word consolidation pop into my head. And something that I've learned is that if you just force yourself to listen to that wisdom, if you force yourself to listen to the wisdom that pops in your head, that's how you retain that wisdom. That's how you strengthen that wisdom. But if wisdom pops into your head and you don't take advantage of it and you don't listen to what that wisdom says, it's going to go away. You might think, oh, I know that's wise. I know that's wise, but not in this situation. I'm gonna do it this way, and then it doesn't pop into your head next time, right? That idea that pushes you in the right direction, that guides you towards the light, it's not gonna come back if you keep pushing it to the side. Next time, oh, it might come back, right? It might come back, but it's not gonna be as loud of a thought. It's not going to be as clear of a thought. It's not going to be as convincing of a thought. You have to listen to the wisdom that pops in your head in order to develop your way out of that monkey mind. And it is a long process. It took me probably 3 or 4 years since getting diagnosed with ADHD to get to the point that I'm at, and it has been ups and downs. I've struggled with different addictions throughout that time, and there's been rock bottoms in between the time that I got diagnosed and now, right? It's not as if I had constant progression, but what I've realized is all the times that I am up and I am peaking, my cognitive function is peaking, and I am able to be present, and I'm able to be fluent in my speech, and I'm able to stay on one topic or idea or one task, or be able to do all these things in the effective and efficient order, right? The way that they should be done. When I feel best is when I just stay disciplined and listen to my wisdom, or the wisdom that pops into my head every single time it pops into your head. If you ignore it, you will start going downhill. You have to listen to it. It's not an option. It's not an option. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable doing what that wisdom says makes you feel. You have to do it. That's the rule. That is the rule to self-improvement. Listen to the wisdom that pops in your head. I had an example, but it's gone. So I'm gonna end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys get something out of it. And I know the video might have seemed a little bit all over the place, kind of like I was describing how I was feeling today, so it fits the picture. But anyways, again, I hope you got something out of it anyways. Have a good day.